Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my Jaguar XK8. Following on from last week's video about replacing my headlining, I've now got to retrim the A-pillars. So these weren't actually in too bad a nick before I started the headliner, but the headliner, as you would have seen from my previous video, is a different colour to the one that was there originally, just a mistake on the ordering front by me. But also, as I was fitting it, I didn't remove the A-pillars, and I think the headliner must have rubbed up against them, and the ancient foam behind the material has kind of pulled it away from the plastic trim there and has made it a bit more wrinkly than it was previously. Judging by the condition of the foam on them, that it was kind of time to do it. It was just a matter of time before it would have started showing. So I've already pulled my A-pillar trims off. There wasn't really too much to this. They clip in. If I can spin the camera around just to the A-pillars here, as you can see, and pulling them off was really just a case of pulling the trims towards the middle of the car kind of thing. So not towards the windscreen, not towards the side, just straight out towards the steering wheel on the driver's side, and sort of the same sort of story on the other side as well. The interesting thing to note, I guess, about the trims, both sides have these electrical connections in the middle here. And if we look where they came from, you can see there's an electrical connector over here, and there's one over there too. But interestingly, you only get an actual thing it connects to on the passenger side, because this is for that weird sonic or radar or something safety sensor thingy about deploying the airbags appropriately. And now that I've disconnected that side, I do get an airbag warning light on the dash if I try and drive this car. It doesn't stop it from driving properly or anything like that. It just sort of has a weird flashing airbag warning. So I'm interested to know as to what the function is on the driver's side over here. I'm guessing it's just because of different markets. They've included that part of the loom for all markets, even though only one side's plugged in. So I don't think it has a function. But if anybody knows that, that'd be interesting to know. I think it just terminates on the kind of blank block on the driver's side. I don't think that does anything. It's only the passenger side that has it on there. So now that I've got these trims off, I'm going to take them inside and start stripping them down and cover them in some new material. So we'll talk about how that's done. Okay, so these are the two trims that came out, and you can see on this one particularly where the foam's just sort of disintegrated on this plastic trim piece. So I think what I'm going to do is just peel off this material, and I will kind of keep it to one side because you can use this old material as a template, but I probably won't do that. What I'll do is I'll just stick the new material to the plastic trim and just trim the excess off afterwards, rather than starting with something which potentially doesn't quite fit properly. As you can see, where they stuck it previously, all the foam that is disintegrated is all stuck still to the plastic trim. So I'm going to take off these, well, and this is the passenger side, and take off this electrical sensor here, as well as the thing it connects to, which is just a Torx bolt through there, just one of them, and it pokes through apparently. And then just these will just unclip just by pushing them out. There's only really one way they can come out. And then I'll probably just use like a scouring pad and a little bit of water just to get that off of there. I don't think it needs anything more than that. I mean, I guess you could use some sort of thinners, but we're going to be gluing over the top anyway, so as long as it's got something to adhere to, I think it'll be all right. It's just getting rid of this old foam, because if the glue gets on that and the foam's still there, it's just going to peel off over time. So I want to make it as clean as we can. Yeah, so I'll do that, and then I'll show you just before I start gluing things back together again. Okay then, so we've now given this a thorough clean. The foam came off really easily actually, but the glue underneath needed a bit of a scrub. I just used a scouring pad and some washing up liquid to clean these up, and they've come up pretty nicely actually. There's still the odd trace of glue left, but I don't think this is going to interfere with our retrimming too much. I also have the new material here that came with my headlining kit. There are two sides to this, and I don't know if this will come out on the camera, but there is a foam backing on this side than the actual materials on that side. They look very similar because I've got a grey one here, but the thinner layer is the one that will be on the outside, and the glue will be applied to the thicker foam side. The glue that I'm going to use is just this contact adhesive, like instant spray stuff. And I think what I'm going to do is put a layer on here, and then depending on the instructions, I think you then put a little bit on here as well, and then I'm going to stick them together without any wrinkles, hopefully. The thing that I'm going to do after that is not to use spray glue on the other side, but I've got a tube of contact adhesive, and I'm going to put a bead all the way around the edge once I've sort of trimmed up the edges a bit, and that's what I'll fold over and stick it on there. If it sticks straight away, then great. Otherwise, I've got some modelling clamps that I might use just to make sure the edges are stuck nicely. Down here, by the way, you don't really care too much what this looks like because this is tucked down the side of the dashboard, so you don't see that bit in reality. But hopefully we can make that look nice as well. But I'm not going to stress if this edge, for example, is a little bit creased. So what I'll do is I'll probably start at this end and roll it down this way, and then whatever happens here kind of doesn't matter because it's going to be out of sight in the car. So yeah, I'm going to give that a go now. Try not to stretch the material, just very carefully put it on, because you don't want to stretch it into any sort of creases or anything like that. Right, I think that is that. Actually, there's no obvious bits, we need to put it off straight away. Down here. And where I've got these little bits that are lifting, just here for example, where the glue's not quite reached, that's where I'll just put a dab of that other contact adhesive just to keep that against there. But I don't think that's too bad actually for a first attempt. You are only going to get one go, unfortunately, but I think that's going to look all right on there. So the next step is, and then you see I've got a bit of a crease going on down here, but like I said, that isn't going to be visible in the car because that's tucked in the behind the dash, and I might be able to snip that to make it follow the line a bit better. So yeah, let's finish up this one with a bead of, by trimming it up and then a bead of contact. Be careful not to put it down in the glue that you've got on these papers, so I'm just going to put these away now. Okay, so a sticky mess later, and I am getting somewhere. I did actually bite off a bit more than I can chew, and I put too much glue on. So you can probably see there all the contact adhesive running into these channels as I've put it on. I've had to use these modelling clamps just to clamp the edges while it dries. I've done that side already with reasonable sort of success, just so you can see that there. And these corners, you have to leave a bit of extra material to fold over the sharp corners so you don't have it poking through. That's something that I saw on the original piece there. This end's got a few more creases in it. As I said before, this is like the end that you won't see. But I am a little bit disappointed because it's such a sticky thing to do. I've got a bit of glue here that hopefully I can pick off once that's dry. But overall, it's not a bad result, I don't think. That's not too bad. Did also get a bit of spray glue come through the material here. I used a bit too much. So again, once that's come off, I don't know if I'll be able to get it off, but that's the bit that faces the windscreen, so not quite as obvious there. Just have to see how I can do what I can do with that. I mean, this didn't take me very long, this one and cleaning the other one. This has been about a lunch hour's worth, so not an awful lot of time, and it's not really worth rushing it either, which I've done, unfortunately. So yeah, take your time and don't use too much glue like I've done, and be careful of sticky hands, because that's the worst thing. You get a bit of glue on it, you don't really realise it's there, and then you start handling the material, and that's how the other one came off, because I had a bit of glue from holding it this side. It came off on the other side as I turned it over, so watch out for that. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll probably just test fit this in the car once it's dried a bit, just to see what it looks like, and then see if there's any lessons I need to learn for the other one that I do probably tomorrow. So yeah, let's see what it looks like in the car. Okay, so we're sat back in the car now. I've done both sides of the trim. The second one, I didn't actually use any contact adhesive from a tube around the edge in the end, because I'd made such a mess with the other one that using the spray glue was about as messy anyway, and it was quicker and seemed to stick fine. So that was actually a lot quicker to do, and I didn't make the same mistake of putting too much glue in the place either. So on the other one, I kind of had that weird bit where the solvent of the spray glue had gone through the material, which has made a mark on the other side, and you can kind of see it in the corner over there. It looks a bit sort of crusty. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that, but I think it's actually turned out really well. Like, the actual finish obviously matches the headliner now, which is kind of the point. And in fact, the headliner and the A-pillar trim just looks like it was from the factory, really. I mean, there's a little bit of a contrast with the sun visors and the plastic trim, but there was anyway, because the beige wasn't exactly the same colour as those sort of plasticky type pieces. And this is the other side, so this is the other bit with the airbag sensor on it, and that one came out a bit better, but you know, there's hardly any difference between them, and I'm really pleased with how that looks now. That just looks like it would have out of the factory. You can see actually when I got the old ones out, there's a bit of foam which is gathered there. So all in all, not too hard, a little bit messier than the headliner, but far less sort of fiddly to do. And if you messed it up, I'm sure you could probably order some more material to give it another go. It doesn't take very long to do, and I doubt it's very expensive. So my material came with my headliner, that came in a kit. So if you didn't see the other video, you wouldn't have seen that my headliner actually included the material. It wasn't advertised that it included it, it just seemed to be in the box. So that was brilliant. Great service by Headliner World in Kent. So check those guys out if you have a similar problem to me. And I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Well done for getting this far if you're watching the video. And I'll be back again soon with some more Jaguar XK8 content, or MGB GT. I've got MGB GT for anybody who's watching this for the first time. And also a Lotus, a Lotus Esprit, which I'm restoring as well. So hopefully bring an update on that soon too. So until the next time, take care of yourselves. See you later. Bye bye.